Good afternoon from Cambodian. My name is Chhay Visoth. I am the director of the National Museum of Cambodia. Today, it is a great pleasure for me to attend the dialogue online, which organized by the China Europe America Museum Cooperative. My presentation will be about the returning Khmer art objects to the National Museum of Cambodia. Let me brief you the contents of my presentation. The first part is going to be about the history of the National Museum and its collection, the missing object from Cambodia, the repatriation of Khmer ancient object to the National Museum of Cambodia, and the conclusion. The first museum of Cambodia was built in 1905 during the colonial times, and then the second one was built in 1920, where larger collections are housing until the present time. There are 18,115 objects are housing in the National Museum collections, and these collections are stone, wood, metal, ceramics, and also textile. These collections were from the mission that Eco-Fangsa Extreme Mujang did between 1898 to 1975, from the excavation, from purchasing, from seizing of the border between Cambodia and Thailand, and also from donation from local and international friends. For the missing object from Cambodian, as you know, the emergence of the Khmer civilization attract the interest of Western researchers and also collectors. As a result, many objects are moving from their original places for a different reason. It can be the safety reason, can be the reason for exhibition, and also for selling to the art markets. And we can see two different periods of missing objects in Cambodian. One is during the French colonial time, because they just try to collect all the objects for displaying in Paris, in France. And also some other researchers, when they came, they just want to brought back the collection for their own purpose to display or selling in Paris. And after French colonial time, we have a very bad experiences with the looting site in order to bring the art object to sell between the Khmer and Thai border, especially from 1970s. For the third part of my presentation is about the returning Khmer art object to the National Museum of Cambodia. Up to date, we have about 5,240 objects brought back to Cambodia and housing at the National Museum of Cambodia between 1996 to 2021. And we have two different sources of these collections donated to the National Museum of Cambodia. One is local donation, and another one an international donation, I mean from different countries out of Cambodian. For local donation, we can see 4,442 objects. These kinds of donation from the government institution or from individual, while another 798 objects through the channels of the government negotiations, individuals and expatriated or foreigners who are living in Cambodia. Regarding to the question, why can Cambodian get all these artifact backs? The first is because we have Cambodian have law on the protecting of cultural heritage in 1996. We have the ratified the UNESCO Convention in 1970 on the means of protecting and preventing the illicit import, export, and transfer of ownership of cultural property, to which both countries are state parties. And another one, MOU between Cambodia and US on the imposition of import restrictions on Khmer archaeological material. And another one is about archaeological remains from the site itself that can prove the origins of the statue. Publication, it can be book or catalogs, and archive documents, And some cases, we need to use the lawsuit to auction agency or institution or individual in order to claim to get our object back. But the best way that our Cambodian government do is about negotiation. We try our best in order to negotiate to get those artifacts back. Last but not least, we have 14 countries give object back to Cambodia. In conclusion, Cambodia is one of the greatest countries for our cultural heritage in Southeast Asia, but it has a very bad history of looting cultural objects from art markets. The royal government of Cambodia is working so hard to get the missing object back home through diplomatic negotiation with other country institutions or individual art dealers. We are going to continue negotiate with collectors for some object looting during the 1970s. And the National Museum will play an important role for the process of getting ancient objects back to Cambodia. Thank you so much.